have you heard of Paul Bunyan? I ask that because I, as a British person, had never heard of him. And as such, I can say that this Disney short that was released in 1958 is my introduction and only source of information for Paul Bunyan. I would be very interested to know if other British people had heard of the character, but also, is he still very popular in America? As I said, never heard of him until now. Paul Bunyan is actually a North American folk hero. He is a lumberjack. Basically, the narrative starts off with the villagers finding this massive baby. And this is Paul Bunyan. He grows up to be exceptionally tall and then has this weird friendship with a bull. It's a very interesting folk tale. And he creates certain landmarks, which I'm not going to go into if you watch it. It's pretty interesting. But I'd be very interested to know if that legend lives on and if that's something that people kind of believe. Believe in the way that we believe in the Loch Ness Monster, I guess. Well, I believe in the Loch Ness Monster. I don't really. But it's really fascinating. It is quite long. It's one of the longest Disney shorts that I have seen. It's 17 minutes, which obviously in itself is not that long. But it packs in a lot of information. I could not now, even though I only watched this about an hour ago, I could not now recite to you all of the events and all of the things that I learned about Paul Bunyan. It's very detailed. So as an introduction, it's pretty informative. I like the way it's narrated. It's narrated by Parley Baer, who's, got a very fluid voice that's very easy to listen to, that's very engaging, something that I really enjoyed. It does feel like I'm sitting around a campfire being told this legend of Paul Bunyan. It's beautifully presented. The animation style is gorgeous. As I said, it does pack a lot, which is good, but it also means that I now don't know which bits about Paul Bunyan's life are the most important. If you're a Paul Bunyan expert or have heard of him, please let me know, what I should be focusing on. Not that I plan on exploring Paul Bunyan as a figure intentionally, but certainly if I come across the name again, my ears will prick up and I will pay a bit more attention than I may otherwise have done. Paul Bunyan's voice is Thurl Ravenscroft, and the short is directed by Les Clark, produced, of course, by Disney. I really thoroughly enjoyed this. It was very informative and educational. Not something I'd watch again without the intention of actually sitting down to learn about Paul Bunyan. It wasn't necessarily the most engaging, but as a historical, well, is it historical? Is that an oxymoron to say a historical legend? I'm not sure. Either way, Paul Bunyan's pretty interesting. If you've never heard of Paul Bunyan like I hadn't, I'd say that this is a pretty decent introduction.